welcome everybody back to our afternoon session today. I am Christy, and I've been a Peaceful Solution Character Education Program instructor for about 13 years. And you know, it's something that I've seen a difference in my life by using it. So that's why I am such a strong believer in it. I want to encourage you all to really, apply it. It will only work if you use it. But once you use it, you will see differences in your life. So today, it's going to be a little bit different this afternoon because not only are you all here to learn the subject material, but you are also all here to learn how to be teachers of the subject material. And so on that note, we were going to do something a little different today, and I'm going to be teaching you all from the grade 5 book. Now, none of you are allowed to leave, even though I am aware you are not 11-year-old girls. That's okay. Because the great thing about the Peaceful Solution Character Education Program is that it's a foundation you can use to teach any age, anytime. I know a lot of you, I've talked to you, you have your own businesses, your mothers, you work for other people, you sell real estate, there's all different jobs you do, and that's the beauty of this program. You can adapt it, keeping the foundation laid, adapt it to your specific situation to help you. And we're going to give an example of that today, and y'all are going to work with me to show how you can do that and how you can teach this lesson. So we all up for this?
Yeah.
Yes. Like I said, I am going to teach from the grade 5 manual, and the foundation of my lesson is going to be from Unit 5, Lesson 6. And our subject for today is, as you can see on the board, honesty. Now, if I just ask you, what is honesty? Give me just if you hear the word honest or honesty, what is your first gut reaction? Yes, ma'am.
Being truthful.
Excellent. Being truthful. Yes. For most of us, that is our gut reaction to what the word honest means. Yes, ma'am. Dependable. Excellent. That's excellent. Y'all aren't cheating, are you? Are you looking on my board? You're cheating. Excellent. Yes. Lady in the back.
Not deceptive by intent.
Oh, excellent. Not deceptive. Great. So these are all things that relate to the word honesty. And I'm just going to be real for a minute. Honesty is really a very black and white subject. You either tell the truth or you don't, right? And in our mind's eye, we see that as a very black and white, clear thing. Yet somewhere throughout our lives, gray came into that. Have you ever heard something called a little white lie?
Yeah.
What's a little white lie? Yes.
Something that we have somehow been taught isn't a harmful lie, and it doesn't make us a dishonest person, but it's almost like morphed into this courteous word.
Yes.
Like, no, you look so thin.
I know she did not. I know she did. But back to what she started with, yes. That's an excellent thing. A little white lie is supposedly, it's a little untruth, but it won't hurt anybody. Just for example, if your mother calls and you don't want to talk to her and you tell your child, tell grandma I'm in the shower. It's just a little white lie. It won't really hurt anything. But do we see how it grays things in our mind? We went from very clear truth, lie, to now it's all gray. And we see it does harm, not only to our children, but in our own minds. Because, for example, I'm a bookkeeper. What if I don't get my numbers to balance out just right? So I just change them just a little. It's just a little white lie. It won't hurt anything. It was only 4 cents. Well, guess what? The IRS has a big fancy name for that called fraud. The U.S. government has a big fancy name for that called embezzlement. So these little white lies, that graying of truth and untruth can be very harmful. Did you have a comment?
Grandma used to say, don't twist the truth.
Right, exactly. She said her grandmother used to say, don't twist the truth. But that's exactly what it is. It's taking something that's very black and white, and it's putting that gray in there. And it follows us throughout our lives, in our work experiences, with our families. And it's something that as a society as a whole, we have to step back and put a stop to that and go back to the way of honesty. Now, a basic definition of honesty as taught in the Peaceful Solution Character Education Program is to be truthful, fair, and trustworthy. Now, who can tell me what it means to be truthful? What does that mean? If you are a truthful person, maybe I should ask the lady who told me I didn't really look thin. Ask her. What does it mean to be truthful?
That you don't lie.
Excellent. That you don't lie. Yes. Anyone else? To be truthful. Yes. I'm sorry, all the way in the back.
That you can be trusted with whatever you say or do.
Excellent, yes, and that we'll go on to that in a minute, but to be trusted, yes. To be truthful means we give a correct accounting of the facts, regardless of consequences. And that's an important thing because oftentimes those little white lies come out when we don't want to get in trouble. True? Yes. But part of being honest means being truthful, even at the consequence that we may get in trouble, or we may not. And a perfect example of that is time cards at work. Time cards, time sheets. Almost every employer has some form of timekeeping. And okay, we're supposed to be there at 8 o'clock, but I got there at 8:05. But I'm just going to put 8 o'clock on my timesheet. Is that the truth? No. But see, little things like that have come to be socially acceptable. Well, I know my lunch is supposed to be an hour, but I got to go all the way across town, and I'm just not going to make it, but I'll still clock my time. I'll still get my pay in. But it's not being truthful. And it also can cause great harm to your employer because in truth we are stealing from them. So again, we have to go back to that, getting rid of that gray and putting it black and white. You work the time you work, even at the consequence that you may lose time because you were late. Okay? So, another part of honesty is being fair. What does it mean to be fair? Yes? Not partial. Excellent. Yes. What else? Being fair.
Not cheating.
Excellent. Yes. Not cheating. Excellent. Anyone else? Being fair. It's funny, it's a word we hear all the time, but to really think to define it. Yes. You first. Excellent. Equal treatment. Yes, ma'am.
You know, for some reason, I just had this idea that there's an application of fair that I thought of in my business. We're in the real estate business, and for me, I think of fair as, presenting my clients with all of the information.
Excellent.
So that they can make a better decision and not just telling them what benefits, what would be best for me.
For your company. Yes. She said that it's also presenting your client, if that's your situation, with all the information. Even if maybe your business isn't their best option. Letting them know that, to be fair, instead of just, well, I need the business, you need to come to me, and even though I know I can't help you in any way, but you give me your money and I'll find a way, right? That's not being fair. Sometimes being fair means taking that risk and saying, this just really isn't something I specialize in, but I can refer you to some people who can help you with that. That's an excellent point, that is part of being fair. And in the Peaceful Solution Character Education Program, it defines being fair very similar to what you all have said, giving others what is rightfully theirs and following the rules. And also another great example of that is contracts. I'm telling you, contracts. Think about 50 years ago. A man's word was his bond. If a man or woman shook hands with somebody, I agree to sell you this acre of land for, 50 years ago, 200, how much? 2 goats. Okay, let's say $200. And I agree that I will pay you $50 a month over the next 4 months. We shake hands. That is called a contract, and that was it. There was no notary public. There was no lawyers working out the details. There was not you and your mama and your daddy and your Uncle Joe all as witnesses. Your word was your bond. Yes, definitely. You have to be reliable. And I know all of us, without a doubt, we've always had that one friend, right? The one friend who, when they said they were going to be there at 7, you knew you had till 7:30. right? Oh, I know you know we all have those friends that no matter how hard they tried, if they were going to pick you up at 4, you knew you had 20 minutes, no problem. But that's part of it. That's part of our reputation. And in order to be trustworthy, people have to know they can count on us. Or if there is a problem, if we are running late, that we'll give a friendly little call. You know, that's something that employers greatly value. They greatly value that honest person. And I want to put another thing out there. Office supplies. Stealing office supplies. I can't even begin, and I see you all smile because it is so commonplace throughout society today. I don't think anyone even sees it as wrong anymore. But again, we go back to that gray. Black and white. You either steal or you don't. You're honest or you're not. Well, I just needed a pencil, so I took it. I just needed some tape. Well, where's the line? I just needed a new printer for my computer. Where's the line? That's the thing about when you start graying things. Where is the line? And as a result, we see consumer loss and we see consumer distrust. The economy is in a mess, and a lot of it goes down to that foundation that honesty has been lost throughout society today by the majority of people. Not all. I don't ever want to condemn all, because some people truly are honest and they do try their best. But as a whole, society as a whole has lost this concept of honesty. Yes, ma'am.
You know, I have to say, there are many times where I'm at home on the computer during the day, and I'm self-employed, so I have the right to check in on Facebook, check my email, but so my time management is my own. But often, all the time, I see people on there that I know they're at their jobs working for somebody else on the clock, and I've often asked them, I'm like, aren't you at work? You know?
It's true.
So I think stealing time has become a huge problem.
And that is very much, she says stealing time. That is something that is very common throughout society today. I had to run by one of the stores here locally because I really honestly did have to buy some office supplies. And the parking lot was packed. And it was a Tuesday. I'm like, what is, and you see people in there, you can tell they were at work. They're in their work clothes, and they're just walking around, getting apples. I'm like, is the whole world at lunch at 3 o'clock? So it does make you wonder that, again, that gray, when that became okay, that even though I'm at work, I'm just going to check my Facebook real quick, that in truth, that is actually stealing time. And I want to move on to, like I said, because I am teaching you from this grade 5 book. And so I'm going to start with, now you all just work with me, but I'm going to actually read the scenario that's in this book. It's a grade 5 scenario. We're going to use that as our starting off point. We're going to discuss it, and then we're going to get more real to us as adults, okay? So my green paper with A on it. Would you stand up nice and loud and read, please?
Sure. Stan, Jimmy, and Bob are in the same class. Stan and Bob are best friends, but Bob doesn't like Jimmy. Stan noticed that Bob stuck his foot out and tripped Jimmy. Jimmy fell to the floor. Jimmy told the teacher that Bob tripped him, but Bob denied it. The teacher asked Stan if he saw how Jimmy fell.
Okay. So now, again, like I said, this is a grade 5 scenario, but we've got Stan, Jimmy, and Bob. Stan and Bob are friends. Bob trips Jimmy. Teacher asks Stan what occurred. What does Stan do? And I want y'all to work through this. I know you're not 11, but come on, put on your thinking. What was stolen, first of all? Let's break it down there. What was stolen in that scenario? Just think about it.
I'm thinking he stole his right to remain safe.
Excellent! You get a clap for that. That was fabulous. She said that he stole his right to be safe. He stole his ability to be in that class in a safe environment. Excellent. Now let me ask you, Jimmy, the teacher asked, Stan, I should have used girl names. I have a hard time with the boy ones. The teacher asked Stan if he saw how Jimmy fell. So what should Jimmy do? Should Jimmy be loyal to his friend Bob? Did y'all hear her over here? She said also that, who was it? That Stan's right to be safe was stolen because he was put in this situation where he had to choose. Should he tell the truth or should he not, knowing he's going to lose a friend? See, it all went back to the fact that Bob didn't own up to what he had done. But you see, again, that gray area. Once that gray area is set in our minds, in the minds of our children, it's very hard, it's not impossible, but it's very hard for them to know right from wrong. Did you have, I saw a hand.
You said they were in class, right?
Yes.
He sold all 3 of their time and the teacher's time to teaching, and they were not paying attention to what he did.
Excellent. Yes, that's another great point, that they stole time from the entire class and the teacher. Because this disturbance occurred, the teacher had to take time to break it up or whatever was needed to be done. So yes, it was all stolen. So now let me ask you, how could this situation have been made right? Assuming Bob still made the wrong choice and Bob still tripped Jimmy. We'll still contend to that. He made the wrong choice there. But how could this whole situation have been made right from the beginning? Don't overthink it. Yes.
Well, Stan could have told who they went to the truth.
Right, Bob.
Or Bob. Whoever.
I know.
Yeah, one of them. No.
I know the names. It's like, who?
Yeah.
Bob, the one who tripped him.
Yes.
Yes. Even though he made the wrong choice in that action, he still could have stood up and done the right thing. Because as we have learned in the Peaceful Solution Character Education Program, it's never too late to make a right choice. So even though, yes, initially he did have a wrong action, he still could have made it right. And then it would have never put the other friend in that situation where he would even have to do that. Did you have a comment? Okay.
If they respect and value each individual person, then it would never occur in the first place.
Right, it would have never occurred at all. Exactly. Great. So you've all were thinking that situation. That's a pretty clear black and white one. But now I want to gray it up a little bit for you. So I have a B somewhere. I can't remember who I gave it to. Yes, my dear. Nice and loud, please.
All right. Sarah, Beth, and Amanda work in the same office. Beth and Amanda are friends, but Amanda doesn't care for Sarah. Amanda and Sarah saw Beth putting various office supplies in her bag. Sarah told the boss, but Beth denied it. The boss asked Amanda if she saw Beth steal anything.
Now, that's a little more real life, right? That's a little more what we as adults may deal with. But again, the same principles apply. What's the right thing to do? I see no hands. I hear yes.
Tell the truth.
Yeah, tell the truth. Black and white. Did Amanda see Beth steal anything? Yes. Will Beth maybe get mad and lose Amanda as a friend? It's a possibility. But if we all learn that we have to stand up for that, to have that courage within us, and I'm not going to play with you. It takes a strong-minded person to stand up to do the right thing. It truly, truly does. It is not for the weak of heart. It takes a strong-minded person to say, yes, my friend made a wrong choice, even though I made a wrong choice. And to accept consequences may come with that.
You know, I think that's a really interesting scenario because I think that as the friend of the person that stole something, I would find that to be kind of an aha moment of now I have seen the character of this person and I am not only glad to report it, but I don't want to be her friend anymore because one, my reputation may be hindered, and two, if she's still from our boss, what would she do to me?
Excellent. That's a great point. Did y'all all hear her over there? Okay, yes, that's an excellent point. I'm glad that someone picked up on that. In the beginning of our sessions this week, we talked a lot about personality and character, and that's an excellent example right here that, you know, okay, maybe Beth was a fun person. Maybe she made jokes and maybe she was really enjoyable at work. But in this moment, Beth's true character showed, right? And in that moment, we do have that choice. Not only am I going to be honest and tell what I saw, but do I even want to continue to have a friendship with someone who I know has this character within them? Yes, ma'am.
The person that stole would have learned her lesson.
Yes. And that is, she said maybe the person would learn a lesson and she wouldn't do it again. You know, that is something that's true again. And in society we see so lacking consequences for our actions. Consequences. If there's a loophole to be found, the loophole is found. And the consequences, sometimes, yes, okay, we make a wrong choice. And when we're faced with the reality that it has a consequence, oftentimes it does improve our behavior, right? I know myself. I'll just be real with myself. Sometimes I have gotten in trouble and I have faced consequences, but I don't go down that road again because I know where that road leads. And so sometimes that is an excellent point. Yes.
If she had told the boss, I didn't see it, and she had seen it, the boss would look at her and say, maybe she's been stealing too.
Oh, excellent point. She said if the friend said she didn't know anything about it, well, okay, now the boss is in question. Well, can I trust her? Who can I trust? This one's stealing. This one, I don't know. This one's saying nobody's stealing when she knows everybody's stealing. So what's the boss to do? I'm firing everybody and starting over. Yes.
That's just what I was going to say.
Yes.
I'm going to get fired.
Exactly. You know, that is something too that it's a great point that our reputation also precedes us. And I want to also flip it the other way, though, because it works both ways. A person who is honest and trustworthy and fair and truthful earns that reputation. And false accusations bounce off that type of person much quicker. And I know reputations can change, and no matter what any of us are, we can change and become better people. But the thing about a reputation is it does take time to change that. But if we already have that honest reputation, it will help us to succeed. And if we don't, it's okay, because we can start now to have it and to prove ourselves. And then our employers, our vendors, our customers, whoever we deal with, will see, okay, maybe in the past they haven't done so well, but you know how they always have under new management, the signs, and that's the way once we all start this program, we'll all put under new management on our stores because we have a different way of thinking. Our management style is different now. I saw a hand over here. Yes.
I remember when I was actually 11 years old. I went into the drugstore and I stole a roll of Lifesavers. And nobody saw me. Nobody ever reported me. But it's haunted me ever since.
Oh. And how old were you? 11? Oh, bless her heart. It's okay now. You've grown. You moved past that. But that's true, though. She was 11 years old and she stole a roll of Lifesavers, and it stayed with her all her life. Yes, ma'am.
The one that the boss asked concerning if she stole. For her, she could have been honest from the beginning to tell her friends that there's something wrong she's doing. So her friend would not have done what she did, so the boss would have to come to that decision to ask her that question.
Excellent point. She said her friend could have stopped her to begin with. The second she saw her put that stapler in her bag. What are you doing? She could have stopped her right then and there, and that would have definitely been an honest choice for her to make right then and there. Excellent. See, that's why I love doing classwork, because you all think of things. It's just like little lights going off. Great. So we are running out of time, so I do want to just close with the benefits of being honest. The benefits of being honest. And before class, I passed out, there's quite a few blue papers. So who has a blue paper who would like to read what's on it? Yes, ma'am.
They can gain a reputation as being reliable.
Excellent. You can gain a reputation as being reliable. We were just talking about a reputation. Excellent. Yes.
They will gain honor and respect.
Excellent. You'll gain honor and respect. We talked about that, not only with your employers, with your coworkers, with your vendors. And again, that ripple effect comes into play because you go home and do that. And you teach your children that. And then you have children who from the very start are very black and white about what it means to be honest. And they'll run their businesses that way and raise their children that way. And you see how truly one person can make a difference. They truly can. Who else? Blue, blue, blue. Yes.
Satisfaction at making a right choice.
Yes, and you know, that was pictured perfect that our poor friend over here who's been haunted for, what, you were 11, so we'll just say about 20 years. She's been haunted. About this roll of lifesavers from when she was a little girl. But on the opposite side, if you make the right choices, even if sadly you may lose friends, you know you did the right thing. And that ultimately, you're the one who has to sleep with yourself every night. So knowing that you made the right choice. Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to be an example to others.
Excellent. An example to others. I'm telling you, if you're doing something, making a wrong choice, and your friend leans over and says, "Hey, what are you doing?" That is an example. That is a true friend, and that is someone who maybe even if you don't appreciate it at the time, as you go on with your life, you will always have that memory of that time that your friend stopped you from doing something. Who else? Who else? Who else? Yes.
Added responsibilities.
Added responsibilities. Now, although that may not sound like a great thing, it actually is, because as we all know, there's advancement in the workplace, but it's not always a monetary advancement. Sometimes it's just an addition of responsibilities, of duties, of things you have to do, but it comes with the trust that these things are granted to you. So actually that is a reward. Who else? We're almost out of time. Yes.
They will treat others fairly.
Excellent. They'll treat others fairly, because when you've been stolen from, you know how it feels. But our goal is to have no one know how it feels, that experience is not the best teacher, but that through information, no one has to suffer that, and that we will be able to all have peace. Yes?
You're honest, you'll have peace of mind.
You'll have peace of mind, if nothing else. That is so true. Yes?
And you're honest, that you will excel in peaceful situations.
That is true. You will excel in peaceful situations if you're honest. Yes, now we're almost out of time, so let me finish my blues here.
Possible advancement.
Possible advancement, as we were just talking about, with more responsibilities. Yes, ma'am.
I would like to say if the employer would have the program and have all their people working and learning about this important honesty and do not steal, it would avoid everything.
It would. Yes, excellent. Yes. And so we're going to have to end on that note, but I just want to remind everyone that I just taught you from a grade 5 lesson. Do you feel like you were just taught from a grade 5 lesson? No. And so again, I wanted to state that is the beauty of this program, that you're able to adapt it to your situation. And I want one last disclaimer as we're running out of time. Honesty and cruelty are not the same thing. If someone is not asking for your honest opinion on their hair, you don't want to just say, "Well, I'm an honest person. I don't like your hair." No. Honesty and cruelty are not the same thing, and we have to make sure we're aware of that. The focus of honesty is to be truthful, but to be fair and to be trustworthy. And always, our goal, always as Peaceful Solution Character Education Program representatives, is to build up one another and to know that together we will ripple out and we will change the world. And I want to thank you all so much for coming. You were a great group. Excellent. Thank you so much.